Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today for you, I have the Protoss Paralyze, the XSK Telecom T1 Protoss player, going up against everyone's favorite Taran, it's Scan. Looking forward to this and just kind of seeing how these two are playing one of the more modern maps in Apocalypse. Of course, it's going to take a moment for these openings to reveal themselves, so this is a great time for you to go down and give a like to the video and leave a comment. You know, it's really appreciated how much you guys have been doing. Hope that you've been enjoying the various games that we've had. And yeah, looking forward to the future of ArtosisCasts as well. I have been slowly but surely improving things and hope that you've noticed and you've enjoyed. If you do have any ideas, comments, and whatnot, just leave them into that comment section. I do check that daily. So thank you very much, everyone, for contributing to the success of the channel. I really appreciate it. So, as I mentioned before, you know, it's one of the newer maps. We're in Apocalypse. This is a 3-player map, and it's kind of flat. It's got some raised ground in the middle, but everything else, like there's 3 big raised ledge. Everything else is flat on the same area. So definitely, it's, I think, honestly, one of the more interesting maps. There are some things about it that can be a little bit annoying. For instance, in a 3-player map, you have a lot of surface area to go into your main base. So things like arbiters or speed shuttles can be very annoying to deal with for Taran. And of course, like if you're playing Protoss versus Zerg, for instance, very, very annoying trying to stop, you know, like a Hydra drop, that type of thing from coming in from a weird angle. But yeah, you know, that's kind of a normal thing for maps like this. Of course, being a 3-player map, it does give us a lot of action, no doubt about that. You know, you can't ever split a 3-player map, really, so you're always kind of battling over that other main base location. Now, Paralyze has gone for a Nexus first. Going into the gateway there, we're going to see if this is going to be like a 1-gate, a 2-gate, is it going to be a Forge expansion? Can't really quite tell yet. And now we can. That basically tells us everything we need to know. It is going to be a 2-gate with that Nexus first. Scan over here. Going for his factory. His factory at a good time. Marines just now getting started as well. And we'll see if he wants to try to bust. It can be a little bit tricky to bust a Nexus first on this map. Okay, yeah, Apocalypse, you know, a 3-player map, generally the rush distances are pretty far on a map like this. So basically you'd have to rally from here up and around. See my cursor? Down like this, right? So, you know, I didn't actually test this map as of yet, but this looks like this is at least 37 seconds from here to over here. 35 to 37 seconds is what it looks like to me. And that's pretty far. That's basically like a cross spawn. Right, so maps like this, sometimes it can be hard to stop a build like this, especially if they go 2 racks. So I wouldn't be surprised if Scan just expands. Now, he is making a 3rd depot. That's interesting. Making that 1 vulture, and it does look like he's going to go command center as well. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Like, normally you don't see the 3rd depot into the command center, because look, it's 24 of 34. So you didn't even use that yet. And the add-ons coming up. And now we have the SCV. So this is just like maybe a poor optimization. I think what probably happened there when I was explaining distances and stuff, I think he started the 3rd depot before he got here and saw the Nexus. Because normally you would just skip that 3rd depot, get the Nexus quicker, and add a depot after that. Either way, the Vulture coming across the map. Right now they're even in workers, but of course Paralyze is going to start shooting up a little bit. Oh my god, the Vulture runs by the first Dragoon really quickly, but the second one does a very good block. Trying to get a few kills. Look at this. 3 kills. 4 kills on this Vulture. Absolutely fantastic. And not just that, he does have that bunker up, but with 2 Zealots and a Dragoon, this is actually very, very bad. As you can see, he barely got anything done there. He does have another Vulture out to try to help out with this. And unfortunately, it gets picked off super, super fast. So 3 Marines pop out of that bunker going after this Dragoon at the moment. In fact, they do target down the Zealot as well. And you're just going to have to pull SCVs to deal with this. There's really no other way to attempt to make this work out. Unfortunately, the Zealot's at so much health. This looks kind of bad for Scan. And in fact, it looks like he was going for a Vulture drop and just nothing's working. Another Dragoon has rallied in and just walked by everything. Laying some mines here, trying to at least... Wow, he gets the hit. If that had been killed off, this game may have fallen out of control for Scan. I don't think he would have been in a position where he was going to be able to recover at that point. Because, like, if you're still fighting yet another Dragoon at this point, it's terribly bad. He's laying some mines, trying to get something done. Unfortunately, not really working out either. The starport has been scouted, so now that you know that this is the idea your opponent was going for, of course, you're not going to let them do that. This Dragoon taking a bunch of damage, but getting that full scout, totally worth it. Some more mines being laid out inside of here. And, in fact, the bunker under fire... Oh, man. This is a tough one. Scan is, like, very dead at this point, to be perfectly honest. This is way too much damage. You can see a 7-worker lead right now. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's hard enough to play against Nexus first, but when they start getting damage with it as well... That's where there's really not any recovery at that point, right? Let's take a look though. Let's see what Scan has to work with here. Okay. So 8 SCV detriment. Second factory is on the way. He has 1 tank. Third Nexus coming up. Range on the way. Observers on the way. Well, if Scan comes back here, it's going to be like a long game, especially as you see him throwing down the armory, right? So the armory shows and the academy shows that he's absolutely not planning on attacking anytime soon. This is like, okay, we got to play the long game, get those upgrades, scan, figure out what's going on. So that's going to be the best way forward here for Scan, he's decided, is to try to macro out of this deficit. Now, to be fair, on a 3-player map, you know, there's not that many bases for Protoss to take, but I feel like there's still enough that this is going to be a very hard upward climb here for Scan. Some good SimCity going on. You can see this wall so that vultures can't run by. The closest place they can run by would be here, and Dragoons are already blocking that area. 4 gates being created right now for Paralyze. He has that 3rd base up. Dragoon in that mineral line as well. And, well, you know, he's making a few vultures. It looks like he wants to try to get, like, a vulture drop-off here. And it might get a little bit. It is possible. Look at this. The vulture up in the front laying just a few mines. Observer scouting everything that he's doing over here. Some more vultures coming out. So, looks like all 4 vultures going to go over towards this drop ship. You know, if he drops it here, maybe he can make a beeline down to here and deal some damage. Actually, sometimes it's better to go to the natural once you drop in the main. It's like a funny thing, but like Protosses have these general patterns that they defend in. Like, look at this right now. Look, he's made the wall thicker. He's filling out the wall a little bit. It's like you only have this little square to run through. So see, the 3 Dragoons are there ready to catch it. Scan tries to find a way around there, doesn't find it, does get through here. You know, vultures are pretty fast, so he does get in. Hey, this is actually really reasonable. And don't forget, he saved the dropship during this as well. That was actually like a really reasonable vulture drop. You know, he got a lot. Unfortunately for him, though, it is still quite the deficit. He's at minus 14 workers right now. He did save that dropship. And notice he's adding 4 facts. Okay, this is very smart because it's actually carriers that are going to be on the way here for Paralyze. If you get ahead like this, it is really smart to go into carriers. Because carriers, quicker than anything else in the game, carriers in this matchup make the game mostly math at that point. It's like, okay, does Taran have enough? And if you're ahead, the answer is normally no. Now, there are some tactics and some things that you can do as Taran to try to sneak out a victory, but again, it turns into math really, really quickly. It's like, do you have enough to break through their ground army before the carriers come out? No? Well, there you have it. We'll see if that's going to be the case here for Paralyze. Did he correctly choose this strategy? Now, still just 3 bases for Paralyze. He's got 2 Stargates up. +1 still going up to 6 gates here as well. You know, I think his observer, kind of seeing what was going on over here, decided, okay, you know what? He sees I'm going carriers. Let's not max out, but like mass up really heavily on gateway units right now, right? Just make sure that we have enough. You know, getting the 6 gateways out before starting that carrier production. I like it. I think it's a good idea. Carriers have started now. So 2 carriers are on the way. And there's like no chance to really get over there and kill Paralyze before those are out. So you are going to have to think about getting Goliaths in your army as well here. Oh, just barely doesn't get it. Everything going wrong. And GG is called. Okay, kind of anticlimactic. GG. All right, so that was a little bit anticlimactic. So here's a double header for you guys. You know, I hope that, you know, I think I've been lucky in general lately with the games that I've chosen, because literally I've casted one game that I saw before, and I mentioned beforehand that I had seen it, so the cast would be a little bit different. I blindly choose games based on the players. And again, I think I've been pretty lucky. That last one, a little bit anticlimactic. Things went wrong for Scan. He died very quickly. So you know what? Let's just do another one. Let's just tape a couple of them together and try to get a high quality game here, a high quality video. So it's going to be Mihu here, the best Taran outside of Korea, kind of pro gamer level in at least 1 or 2 matchups. And his opponent down here in the bottom right, probably the worst person ever for Mihu to play against. It's Action. Action, of course, like always top 8 in ASL, basically. Just an unbelievably strong Zerg player. And in general, that's where Mihu lacks. Not that his TVZ is bad. I have to kind of like preface this, right? The thing is, Mihu has some of the best Taran versus Protoss in the world. And he has very, very, very good Taran versus Taran. But his Taran vs. Zerg is just kind of middling, and a lot of his wins have to do with his latency. Taran vs. Zerg is the matchup that is most affected by bad latency. It really screws everything up. Like, the Marines get very hard to micro, the Mutalisks become much less effective. In fact, if you have bad latency, like, Zergs will just leave games or just all in Korea, right? So it's just... It's not a matchup that he's quite as good at. Not that he's bad at it. Okay, I definitely have casted plenty of Mihu TVZs. I know what it looks like, but it's nothing to write home about, whereas his other matchups really are. Okay, so anyways, he's going up against Action. He's going for a scout here. The map is Invader. And yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see where he's going with it, right? It does look here like he's going for like a 15 command. Well, it's technically 16 because he started the Marine, but that can be a little bit risky because of this. There's Zerglings coming in. He had no idea until he got there. So he has to actually make a bunker right now. Come on. Oh, he's just pulling back? Is he just going to cancel that? See, this is... Okay, well, maybe we're just not getting lucky today, but this is like why this is bad, and I've actually talked about this before in Mihu games that I've casted. You can go for a 1 depot, 1 barracks command center. You can do that. But you have to scout Zerg first when you do that. Okay? So, like, for instance, if you wanted to do that, you could scout on 12 from this position and see if they have their natural hatchery started at the correct time, and then start the command center with the SCV that finishes the barracks, okay? If you do that blindly and scout late, or let's say it's a 4-player map and you don't scout them first and you make it, this is what happens. So this is a terrible position. He lost 100 minerals. His build is jacked. It's not optimized at all. It is a bad situation here. And it blows my mind when I see people just make that command center on 15 or 16 supply instead of going for 2 depots. Because, again, this is exactly what happens. Now, Mihu's coming out. He's trying to pressure with those Marines, with an SCV, kind of blocking for them as well. This will force a few more Lings out of action, or a Sunken. Either one is completely fine. And the thing is, Action, I don't think cares at all. Like, I would put money on Action against Flash if Flash had to cancel that command center. 100%. I'm not even joking. Like, I would, I would do that because Action is that good. You screw up something like that, like your command center is going to be that slow and your build that unoptimized. You have no real options to deal damage to Action. And if you don't have the pressure you need to deal damage, he can squeeze out a few more drones, and he's already one of the best macro Zergs in the entire world. So the situation for him is absolutely beautiful here. Now, speed finishes up. He's going to stop the scouting here from Mihu. Now, I don't want to... Well, here's the thing. I normally say I don't want to oversell, but here I don't want to undersell just how far ahead Action is. I do expect him to be able to take this, but it's not like Mihu is a slouch, even though I started the matchup talking about how this matchup isn't as good for him as the others. Like, Action is someone I would always bet on against Mihu regardless, and especially after something like this. But things can happen, right? Like, Taran does get some timings where they generally have some map control. They generally have some ways they could deal damage, right? Like, if Zerg screws up the Mutalisk microsum, if you get a good irradiate or maybe some Valkyrie hits, something like that. If you find a base that doesn't have its sunkens ready, there are ways that comebacks can occur. So the Spire is almost done. Third base on location here for Action. You can see he's saved up a lot of gas. Starts his +1 immediately. 4 Mutalisks here on the way as well. Back at Mihu's house, we've got the eBay about halfway done. So this is going to be very tight as far as the turrets go. Oh, it looks like a few lings go by. So it's actually not going to be tight, and I'll tell you why in just a second as we watch these lings get cleared out. So because he's walking out with the Marine Medic, his turrets can be a little bit later. Okay, like the mutas have to deal with this first. This is something that could absolutely kill him. Notice he doesn't have any sunkens or anything, and that's okay. Like, Action can probably make enough mutas to just hold here, but like I said, if there's a way to win, this is the type of way it can happen where your opponent doesn't have sunkens ready, where he's trying to skimp. And you come in with the Marines and the medics, and suddenly things go wrong for Zerg, and the micro is slightly off, or maybe your micro is really good, and you're able to break through. So, yeah, this is exactly the situation that Mihu needs right now. Now, he's coming out with the Marines and medics, stimming multiple times, trying to get up here, trying to get in a nice line, and he is in a nice line, but that's a lot of mutas, man. Action bought time into quite a few. He had 8 to start, going to be 8 to finish. He does end up losing quite a few drones. So this was actually good. This was good for Mihu. Like, considering how the game started, you have to be happy with what you've achieved. You know, in a regular game, like if I was just playing someone of my own level, let's say, and I killed that many drones and lost that Bioforce, I'd feel pretty good with a normal build. Obviously, this is a little bit off. As you can see, he's only got 2 racks. Hasn't started his factory. Normally, you'd have 3 racks and a factory started right now. That would be like a more normal play. Or you'd have 4 racks and you have +1, you know, something like that. Anyways, Action comes back across the map. Going to start harassing with these mutas. Some good repairing, but not enough turrets, it looks like. Action knocking down turrets. And, oh, takes quite a bit of damage there. So Mihu ends up holding this turret. That was actually a very important moment, having those Marines in there as well. The muta's going to come back down to the natural. Kill off that new making turret. Oh, he actually misses a swipe right there. Might be partially due to latency, right? When you see something like that and it's against Mihu, that could be what it is. And it's not that he has terrible latency to Korea, but it's not 24, right? So anyways, flies away. A lot of SCVs dead. 17 workers to 24. But somehow, Mihu snuck some more units out here. Look at this. Catching a muta as it rallies out. Going after some overlords. Holy crap. But hold on. These mutas coming back. Oh, man, this is way too many mutas. He has more mutas here than there are Marines. So even healing these up, you know, even if they had that +1, which they don't, this would be very, very tough to deal with. Now, 11 mutas should be able to just crush this small group of Marines. Look at that. Taking them out so quickly. So another group of Mihu Marines out of there. He's still just on 2 racks. Maybe an anticlimactic game here as well. A lot of mutas flying across the map. Honestly, I think that Action's going to probably finish him pretty quickly here. The turrets probably won't be quite enough. He's building a lot. He's got, like, this is a good defensive spread. There's no question. It looks like good turrets, but Action's got a hell of a lot of mutas, and he has +1 attack, so he's going to take them down really, really quickly. Yeah, flies through right there. Wow, he's going to be able to cancel the +1 as well, it looks like. There's not really enough Marines to go up and deal with that, unfortunately. He's going to try, though. He knows that the +1 is a crucial upgrade. Kills off 1 to 2 mutas there, but it is not enough. He kills all the Marines. Going to take out that engineering bay. No more missile turrets. No more attack upgrades, unfortunately. Never going to finish that +1. And... well, yeah. This, I mean, he's just going to kill him. There's really nothing left. He's got, like, look at this. 1 Marine in there. He's got, like, 6 Marines total. So that's... I mean, that's got to be it. That's got to be it. I can't imagine me who's staying in the game any longer than this. Should be a GG. GG is called. And another kind of anticlimactic game. My apologies. It happens sometimes. But do you know what, guys? I got to mention this. Without bad games, there are no good games. You can't always have great, fantastic, amazing games. So this is... you know, that's it. That's all there is to it. GG. Thanks for watching.